You're watching Service Electric 2 Sports, presented in high definition.
Welcome to Father Judge High School in Northeast Philadelphia, the host site of the PIAA Boys 4A first-round playoff matchup between Conwell Egan Catholic and Wilson Area High School. Hello, I'm Mike Krause alongside my partner Tom Mykrantz. Tonight we're going to feature the matchup Conwell Egan Catholic out of Fairless Hills, the 2015 AAA state champions, comes in with a record of 8-15. And 3-11 with a league record. However, they are members of the Philadelphia Catholic League, a very strong and competitive league. And they're led by first-year coach Brian Caver. Brian Caver has a lot to do tonight, and what their concerns are, Tom, to have their opportunities to move forward.
Yeah, Wilson coming into this matchup with the distinct size disadvantage. They have one starter at 6'2", that's their tallest. All five Conwell Egan starters are between 6'2" and 6'5", so the chore for Wilson is to limit their points inside, limit their second and third chances under the basket. For the guards, they've got to be patient, create some good looks outside, get some threes from beyond the arc, and they got to limit their turnovers.
Wilson from Eastern Pennsylvania, 16-11, members of the Colonial League, with a league record 11-6 under the direction of second-year coach Mike Glovis. 26-23 overall record. So excited to get this team back in the state tournament after a 7-year absence. And what does he have to look forward to going up against Conwell Egan?
Well, their key player is the senior guard, Patrick Robinson, averaging more than 23 points per game. Glovis will be trying to set up some triple screens and maybe limit his output. And then they got the 6'6" forward, Eric Esposito. He is a tough one as well to contain.
Well, it's TNC time. It's either termination or continuation. PIAA playoff tip-off next. As you see, teams getting ready for the tip-off. Coming out on the floor, representing Conwell Egan Catholic, number 3, a 6'2" junior, Joe Baldacchino. Number 11, 6'2" guard, Delroy Gale. 14, the shooter averaging 23 points a game. Senior 6'2" guard, Patrick Robinson, an all-state player last year. Second team All-Catholic League this year. Donovan Crawford, number 24, 6'3" freshman. And Eric Esposito, the big 6'6" shooter who can throw it down from anywhere. Coming out for Wilson, Vegan Gashi, a 6-foot guard. Cameron Clark, 5'10" guard. He's number 2. Robbie Switek, he's wearing number 11. He's a junior, 6'4", getting his first start ever. Aiden Quinn has gone to the basket. You see the two-pointer by Joey Baldacchino. And round out the starters for Wilson is number 30, Charbel Galib, a 6'2" sophomore.
Baldacchino going to the basket to open play and give the Eagles the early jump here. And as we said in the open, that the Wilson defense has got to limit those drives to the hoop and, keep them out of the paint. Wilson going with Coach Glovis was saying, keep it patient, and the medium jumper is there for Gashi.
Score right now, as we can see in the background in the corner on the left, that's going to be in your screen tonight to help you with the scores. As a take to the basket, Esposito on his own foul, the lefty, still no good, stays with it in third, and at 6'6", the ball will fall into your hands, and that's where Wilson will be challenged to make the score 4-2 in favor of Conwell Egan Catholic.
Esposito averaging 16 points per game. This is actually the second game of a doubleheader here at Father Judge. In the opener, it was a girls' 2A matchup between Minersville and Motivation High School, with the Battle in Miners winning, I would say, quite convincingly, 71-23.
We got to the mercy rule there in the second half, and the pull-up shot, Gashi feeling it, just in and out of the rim. The quick outlet by Esposito. Gashi deflects it, and possession will stay in favor of Conwell Egan. Egan averages 68 points per game and 63 for Wilson. As he makes the substitution, now comes in Darrell McKinney, the 6'2 sophomore, wearing number 14.
Yeah, we're going to see the Warriors press for much of the game probably. They want to try to slow things down, create those turnovers.
One of the big areas we're going to see is the help defense that Wilson does so well as they read and they look to help. As Esposito all going to his right, pulling up, rolls around, and Gashi having an early inflect, but Esposito staying with it again, hanging out there on a block of McKinney and the fast break the other way. Nice and controlled finish by Delroy Gale to make the score 6-2 in favor of Conwell Egan.
Nice transition game there by the Eagles as they get the open pass inside, and that's what you don't want to see if you're a Wilson fan.
Wilson trying to spread it out a little bit, create some space, maybe take some time off the clock, slow the game down. They're going to really have to try to protect the ball. Egan can transition really quick and very efficiently. We approach the 5-minute mark here in the first quarter. Spreading the floor. And Tom, what you look for here is overplaying if the patience of Conwell Egan. You can see on the sideline, your background is coaching. Over there is Brian Kaler. And the three
there by Switek. Big three there. First one for the Warriors.
That quick transition the other way, and the finish by Patrick Robinson, the second team All-Catholic League. Switek, with his three, has 80 on the year. And one thing that we saw is that quick transition of Conwell Egan. Robinson, 23-point average. The lefty
completes the three-point play. Now it's 9-5 Eagles with 4:34 showing on the first quarter clock here.
Pressure full court and the man defense for Egan. Looking to penetrate. McKinney to the basket. Soft roll, falls out. And the control of the ball by Baldacchino. The 6'6 lefty running the floor. The battle underneath. Controlled by Wilson. No hesitation. Switek a little bit long. Pressure by causing a turnover. Help defense there, but knocking the ball out of play with number 11, Delroy Gale. 9-5 under the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter.
Warriors are a team that can average, they do average over 60 points per game.
And they've had some games in the 70s this year, so offensively, a team like this, they're very unselfish. They will distribute the ball. And having a presence, we have that as a third blocks already by Esposito. One of the things he's doing is keeping the ball in play and giving his defense a chance to collapse and maybe pick up that block rather than knocking that out of bounds. Tight pressure by Conwell Egan. Spreading the floor, showing some patience, the reverse. Soft touch as Charbel Gallieb gets his first bucket to make it a 2-point game.
Wilson they're working the ball around the arc quite well. Again, they're getting some open looks, but they seem intent on trying to maybe create an inside game and sort of offset the one by Conwell Egan.
Yeah, you see the tallest guy in the court bring the ball up the floor. A lot of respect for Esposito's basketball skills. From the corner, Baldacchino, quick release. Baldacchino now with 5. Making it a 12-7 game as we approach the 3-minute mark. Open space, look to penetrate. See if the defense rotates for help. The Warriors do have very good vision with the ball as long as they take care of it. Be very deliberate. Looking to penetrate. That's Clark. Clark, the football quarterback, multi-sport athlete. You can see the clock in the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
Baldacchino closely guarding McKinney.
Showing some patience. Kick out to the corner. McKinney with an extra step before he put the ball on the floor. And that's going to be a turnover that Coach Glovis was trying to minimize. Warriors answer full court pressure. Challenging Esposito on the inbounds pass. It's taking a lot of time.
The score 12-7 in favor of Conwell Egan as number 14, Robinson, goes in for the layup.
Coast to coast there for Robinson, the lefty going up the right side, smoothly delivers. We're going to get our first timeout.
With 2:11 showing for the first quarter. Wilson with a timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
As we can see, 14-7. Right now, 4 people have scored for Conwell Egan. And for the Wilson Warriors, they've got 3. And what's happening, Tom, is Wilson showing some patience, but Conwell Egan has shown such efficiency when they get a possession, whether it be after a basket or a turnover. They're so quick up the floor.
Yeah, they're certainly pesky on defense, and you know, as you said, with the Wilson trying to spread it out, looking for the open man.
Now, in the stands for the Philadelphia Catholic League, not a very tall team for Conwell Egan at 6'2", 6'2", 6'2", 6'3", and Esposito, the tallest at 6'6". We're matching up with the Warriors. We got 6 foot, 5'10", 6 foot, 6'2", and 6'2".
Wilson's first state appearance in 7 years.
Switek thought about it. He's also a soccer player for the Warriors. Penetration move off the glass, doesn't drop. Baldacchino looks up the floor, releases it. Delroy Gale gives it to Robinson, who draws the foul. As you can see, that's going to be the foul on Gashi.
Gashi really hit him quite hard there.
That's his first. Robinson going to the line, already with 5 for 2 shots.
Conwell Egan with no team fouls so far.
Interesting release, as you can see. Robinson, the lefty, starts with the delivery of the shot on the right side of his body, making it 15-7 at 1:38 here in the first quarter. The second. Robinson
was also an All-Stater as a sophomore, making junior, making third team All-State in 4A.
Conwell Egan pulls into that half-court pressure, man-to-man. The Warriors stay in their weave, looking for a backdoor cut. Out front there is Rivera. Pete's a 5'8" senior. It's McKinney. Durrell's a 6'2" sophomore. You can see they're bringing in, trying to work some screens from the left side. Looking to penetrate. Gashi pulls up a little bit long. Keeping it alive in the battle was Peter Rivera. Entangles up with Terrence Jones, who's entered the game for Conwell Egan.
Eagles doing a fine job collapsing on the outside and really making the Warriors work to get a basket or even to get a shot off, really.
From way back, Switek, a little bit long, transitioning. Egan Robinson looks up to finish and going to draw the foul from Switek as Delroy Gale will go line for the first time. And see how quick and efficient that transition is.
Eagles are certainly blessed with that athleticism. As we watch
Gale makes his first. That's his 3rd point of the night. And the score is 17-7. His second. Softly falls in off the rim.
Under a minute now in the first quarter. Quite a quick one compared to the first quarter we saw in the first game.
It took a little bit longer. Getting free, Rivera. A little bit long. Rebound controlled by the Warriors. Kinney with control. Feeling pressure. He turned it over. Trying to put a move on the pressure from Terrence Jones. And that's causing a turnover, something that Coach Glovis is really concerned with.
Warriors want to be aggressive on offense to compensate for the size disparity, but they also have to be patient and, you know, as you said, avoid letting them get their hands inside and swatting balls away and creating turnovers.
20 seconds here to go in the first quarter. Esposito, no hesitation, misses everything, and the ball's going to turn over. 18 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and the Warriors have a shot at finishing a possession to make it a 9 or an 8-point game. You can see the clock in the upper left-hand corner of your countdown. A great camera angle by the big Harris Shides. The release, a little bit long. 3, 2, the release, and it's a little bit short. And we played one. It was all Conwell Egan and Wilson going to try to regroup and see if they can make adjustments when we come back. 18-7, Conwell Egan. As you can see, 18-7, and we're getting ready to start the second quarter. And it looks like everybody's got their stars back on the floor, except now in the game is Avante Williams for Conwell Egan. Good defense there, and the transition, McKinney. Esposito with his 4th block on the night. And transition, Robbins on the baseline.
And he is fouled by number 30 for the Warriors, Charbel Galib. That'll bring Gale to the line. Shooting 2. You just joined us. Conwell Egan up 18-7, just under a couple seconds into the second quarter.
3rd in a row for Gale. Now he's got 4 for 4 from the line and his 6th point here in the second quarter early. And that's Cameron Clark with the ball. Gashi trying to penetrate. A little contact he drew from Delroy Gale.
And you see defensively the Eagles putting Gale on the point there, sort of pester the point guard.
Galib with his 2nd foul there, and it's short by Gashi. In the transition once again, Esposito likes it going on the left side. A little too hard, but sitting there,
Gale
battling.
3rd shot.
And Switek on the board. Kicks it out, sitting there, a little bit long, struggling Warriors. They just need a nice tip there by the great awareness of Gashi, and then the finish by Galib, his 2nd bucket of the game, making it a 29 ball game.
Nice move there by Galib, as he, showing the awareness, the presence there inside the paint, finding an opportunity and cashing in with the easy layup.
When you look at that on the year, Gashi has 85 assists. Clark with 72, Rivera with 52, Switek 41, McKinney 63, Galib with 28. They distribute the ball.
They are a very unselfish team.
Now, Tom, we know that they can shoot. They haven't really been making many threes. They have one so far, the Warriors do. If they get that going, that could make this a different game.
Yes, indeed. They need to dial it up a little better there from outside the arc.
Showing some patience in movement. Now in the game, number 41, Noah Andrus, the senior.
Jones is blocked.
Egan.
Closing one of his eyes. I don't know if he got a finger there.
Gosh, he can't get the drop, but Esposito, it looks like it was generous as he draws the foul from Switek.
20-9 is your score. Favor Eagles. 6:40 to go in the first half. Warriors now with 5 team fouls.
Robbie, that's his first. Esposito, his first trip to the line. 2 points so far in the evening. Drops the first. Substitution in the game back is there, Peter Rivera. He's going to give a rest to Robbie Switek. And also entering the game is for Conwell is Baldacchino.
This is the second. Wilson dressing 14 players, 5 seniors, 6 juniors, and 3 sophomores. As we watch Gashi bring it up.
Looks like they're converted to the zone. They're in a 3-2. There's a little confusion. You see in the game, Avante Williams comes back out in the point, and see where they're going to work in the middle and distribute. They're going to match up with the perimeter shooters. Wilson's going to tighten it up a little bit. Set the screens for the kick out.
You see Conwell Egan with sort of a box and one.
So they're going to release. They're going to release on the 3-2. And this favors Conwell Egan in the sense that they're going to slow down the penetration.
Nice baseline move there by Switek.
That's Gashi with his second basket for 4, and then quickly down the other way. Robinson, just like that, answers. Robinson now with 9. As we approach the 5.5-minute mark, staying at 3-2. You see the score. Number 11, that was Robbie Switek, his second foul. You see up on the screen, you can see the team fouls. The Eagles have only 1 team foul.
Had a notion there, did number 4, Peter Rivera.
Kick back out, the rebound, battling. And Esposito, just his presence, but the persistence of Darrell McKinney gets his first basket, and it's 23-13, just like that. The ball's pushed up the floor, but Esposito on the catch did a little shuffle, and that's a turnover that the Warriors will fall in their favor. Now, Tom, we still haven't seen the tradition, the shooting capability of this team for the Warriors. It's a 10-point game, and they're really not shooting well from the outside. If they can get things going, Tom, what do you think?
Well, that's the bottom line. Yeah, they're not making the threes, as we said in the open. That would be a key to them, staying with Conwell Egan and their adeptness inside, their size advantage. They are trying to get, they're moving the ball, good ball movement, working the motion offense, getting some second and third chances.
And they just transition Esposito up to the finish for Williams. And Avante has his first basket. Again, they looked like they were just a little bit out of sync as they were working the ball around.
That was a crisp set there by the Eagles, getting an inside there to Esposito.
Transition.
They're being patient almost to a fault. But credit the Eagles with really clogging up the lane.
That's a turnover again for the Warriors as he shuffle the feet. Switek enters the game. He's going to put Galib on the bench. 25-13 under the 4-minute mark. You see the instruction over there by Brian Caver. Brian won a state championship in high school, actually won 2 of them, was a high school All-American. And you see the quick transition to Delroy Gale. Delroy's second field goal, he now has 8 as the lead is 27-13. Switek battling. You can see the Warriors, even though they're undersized around the basket, they're up there battling and trying to keep the ball alive, which they did to maintain possession. Caver ended up playing at Seton Hall, won 2 Big East championships as a Pirate. Nice athletic move by Switek. He's got 5 now, and that's one guy they want to get moving to be able to answer and slow down this Conwell Egan squad.
Warriors with a 3/4 court press, and that one, boy, I'll tell you, he can certainly sink those. Baldacchino upping the lead now, doubling the advantage now to 30-15 with 2:57 to go in the first half.
Baldacchino with his second 3, he's got 8, and equal balance in scoring for the Eagles. Back in the man defense.
Rivera switching directions, and Baldacchino, or excuse me, Gale really making a presence on defense.
And also at the other end, he's got 8 points. Coach Caver is mixing up his defense, staying in the man. See, we're under the 2.5-minute mark. What you're seeing is Egan is not really, they're running that transition switch and trying to restrain. The foul's going to be on Donovan Crawford, the 6'3" freshman. It's his first. Team second.
Rivera will inbounds it. Closely guarded by Crawford.
No-look pass. And then Gale now with double figures on the assist from Robinson.
That was a nice bounce pass by Robinson.
Getting some room, but Robinson trailing, knocking the ball loose, showing control. And we get Peter Rivera on a call for the reach. It's going to be Peter's first foul. Team sixth. Wilson's going to call a 30-second timeout. And Mike Lovis wants to just get his guys to settle down. When they're up against, if they can slow down the transition, they've gotten some defensive rebounds, the Warriors. It's just once there's a miss, Conwell Egan has transitioned so quickly.
Yeah, the defensive pressure, and they're so quick, Conwell Egan. If they just, it takes no time for them to get one of their guards or forwards down by the baseline, and then you see the quick pass inside, the layup, and then the possessions results in 2 points.
Well, you see in the first quarter, Wilson's had 7 points. They already have 8 in the second quarter, and then Conwell Egan has 14. So it's only a 6-point difference in the scoring if they can slow them down as they go to the 1-3-1 zone, trying to trap in the corner. Robinson sees a seam, scoops that underhand, and good job once again battling. Robinson finished. You see the Cameron Clark just trying to keep things alive.
We're seeing the versatility of Robinson.
He now has 11. You see as we're approaching the 1-minute mark.
Gashi.
Nice backdoor move. Switek on the pass from Gashi. And then transition Robinson. They're trying to slow the ball down. But there's a guy that's been having a pretty good night, Baldacchino. He gets a miss. And pushing the ball up the floor is Rivera. Gashi steps back.
Baldacchino likes that corner there.
Just can't get that shot to fall. They had good looks. They're just off a little bit. You can see we're under the minute and the score 34-17 in favor of the Eagles.
Clovis in his second year, 26 and 23 overall. Another 3-ball by the Eagles, courtesy Donovan Crawford.
His first field goal of the night. Crawford just caught and released that. Nice release for the freshman. Rivera.
Warriors just can't seem to get something to the hoop. We've had a couple of nice cuts from the sides, baseline layup or two here and there, but that'll be a traveling call against Gashi.
He was looking into the basket as he caught the pass and shoved his feet a little bit. 18 seconds, we'll count it down for you. 15.
Warriors would like to force a turnover here
10.
and take it the other way, but that's not going to happen as the Eagles add to their lead.
5, 4, and you can see the clock on the screen. Kick out.
Gashi denied.
Switek
at the buzzer.
So we've played a half, and then Conwell Egan has been having their night as they take a lead into the locker room, 39-17. And as the ball kept on dropping into the hoop, putting up 39 points, a team that averages 68. game. And the scoring for the Eagles, Avante Williams with 2, Joe Baldacchino with 8, Delroy Gale with 10, Eric Esposito with 3, and the leading scorer in the Philadelphia Catholic League, Patrick Robinson, the senior, threw up 13 on 5 field goals and 3 free throws. For the Warriors, a team that averages 63, as you can see with this 17, their shooting is a little bit off. Does not indicate the measure of their heart and how hard they're playing. As the Warriors, Vigangashi with 4, and Switek with 7, who averages 17 a game. Darrell McKinney with 2, and Charbel Gallant with 4. So, Tom, the winner of this moves on in the PIAA playoffs, and who's their matchups?
Well, the winner of this matchup will play the winner of the Bethlehem Catholic Nanticoke game, which is also tipping off Friday night at 7:30, as is this game here at Father Judge. So, though it appears unlikely at this time at halftime, but there could be an all-District 11 matchup there with Wilson and Bethlehem Catholic. The Golden Hawks with a fine 25-3 record. They are playing at Liberty Friday night against Nanticoke. The second round will be played Tuesday evening.
Then they move on. They go that Tuesday, Friday. Then they shift it in the semis and the finals. They'll go to a Monday, Thursday schedule. So that'll be interesting as that plays off, as we're getting ready for the second half. Out on the floor for the Eagles is Baldacchino, number 3, Delroy Gale, number 11. Crawford out there, number 24, Patrick Robinson, 14, and Eric Esposito. For the Warriors, as we have a little hesitation, bringing the ball in will be Switek. And then you have on the floor Clark wearing number 2, and he'll be bringing the ball up the floor. McKinney, number 14, Gallup, number 30, and rounding up the stars with the ball is Gashi. 39-17.
Wilson playing in its first PIAA game in 7 years. Conwell Egan with some state pedigree with a 3A championship in 2015 as Gale trying to with the slam there, but they do get deuce anyway, courtesy of Patrick Robinson.
Robinson being all alert on there as Switek challenged the shot. An interesting first half time. The Warriors did not get to the free throw line, as the Eagles stay in a man-to-man, and Wilson run a high set. Look for some backdoor cuts. Screens away from the ball.
And that defense certainly frustrating the Warriors. Not really getting any good looks.
Nice touch by Galib. He now is 6, and what you've seen is Egan is not overplaying. They're not taking risks. They're just staying straight up, man-to-man.
Wilson in a 3-2, trying to cut down on the attacks on the basket by the Eagles.
Esposito not able to finish, a guy that they did have concerns on. Robinson the basket. The Warriors just holding their own in that man-to-man. We're approaching the 6-minute mark at 41-19.
Really trying to thrive on the half-court offense here. Suigashi with a nice move to the bucket.
Gashi with a finish. He now has 6.
And now Wilson going to a full court.
I think caught Conwell Egan sleeping a little bit. He assumed as Mike Lovis puts the pressure on full, gets a turnover and maybe some of the momentum, and immediately with that mental lapse, Brian Caver does not want this team to let up easily and takes the timeout.
Those are the kind of breaks that the Warriors need right now. They're down by 20. They need to score in bunches, but we really haven't seen any indication that that's going to happen or against this defense.
They're getting good shots, they're getting good looks, they're getting some good set shots. They're just not able. A little bit long, a little bit short, rolling around inside the rim and kicking out. With the value of the 3, and this is a team that made 175 threes on the year, tonight has only dropped 1. And then the other component of it, Tom, should they be able to score or should they have any turnovers, they really have to slow down the transition for Conwell Egan.
Bad time for them to have a cold shooting night.
Egan stays in the man-to-man on the inbounds play. The kick out, Switek from the baseline, still not able to foul. There's Gashi clearing the boards. Pick and roll, Gashi the kick down. Gallup gets to draw the foul and lengthen the game by stopping the clock. Eric Esposito, that's his first foul in the night.
Gallup, 55% free throw shooter.
The
Since
left
the first.
knocks that one down. That's a positive sign. Gallup gets his 7th point. And he gets his 2nd. 18-point difference. Wilson stays in their man. Esposito, the 6'6", bringing the ball up against the pressure.
Oh, nice feed inside to Gale.
The advantage being at 6'6", you can see over that defense. And there's Gale posted underneath the basket and able to throw it over the defense for the finish. Bodying up, and he's going to get called for that is Delroy Gale. 2 fouls here in 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. Gale picks up his 2nd. Wilson trying to get that and extend and stop the clock to get the game to go a little longer and get their shooting. Penetration, McKinney softly off the glass. Durrell with his 2nd bucket. Now he's got 4. But he's going to get called for the foul out in front. And Tom, you see right now they're slowing the clock. They're getting the clock to stop and getting themselves set up as we approach the 5-minute mark. Good help on Robinson, but Crawford knocked that one early at the end of the first half. And Gashi clears his boards.
Gashi's playing, holding his own underneath.
So soft off his hand. Gashi now with 8. It's a 16-point ball game.
Gashi is playing very well on both ends of the court.
Wilson, 17 points in the first half, already is 10 this quarter, and only 4 points for the Eagles. The pressure is creating a little confusion. Robinson, they cleared out. And then you see Switek using his soccer skills to slow the ball down.
The question now is how much will their transition game and their running attack wear down the Warriors. Gashi looks a little gassed at this point, trying to keep up with these Eagles.
They just keep going. Gashi is being, oh, that's not good for the Warriors as Khalid gets his 3rd foul. Vegan Gashi is an honorable mention All Colonial League. He's getting recruited by DeSales University. He's going to get some opportunities there possibly. Esposito at the line again, the 2nd visit. And his first one a little bit long. He's now 1 for 3 on the night.
Come on, guys, let's go. Hey,
just sense maybe with that gap, the level of intensity may have dropped off. As Esposito makes his 2nd, he now has 4.
DeSales making it to the Freedom Conference Championship game and hosting, but unfortunately fell short against Misericordia.
Scott Cole has done such a wonderful job down there at DeSales. The fake,
Yes,
Gashi
indeed.
Attacking again.
So
His own rebound.
One-man band, Gashi is.
Baldacchino with a scoop, and Esposito brings some excitement to the bench. Perfect time as a lefty above the rim and pushes it home. It's now a 19-point game.
46-27, 4:09 left in the 3rd quarter. We are at Father Judge High School in Northeast Philadelphia. Glad you could join us here on Service Electric's exclusive coverage of first-round PIAA tournament basketball. See the iconic Bob Frankenfield sitting at the end of the Wilson bench.
The Wilson legend.
Watch your fouls, man. Let's go.
Okay, at the 4-minute mark, we're halfway through the third quarter. Switek, can he get it going from the outside? It's a deflection. Esposito's saying that it was his hands and not his foot, but it was called for a kick. And possession will remain in favor of the Warriors. 19-point game, 46-27, 3:55 in the third. They're really tightening up, as you see it in the game now. On defense, number 5, Chandler O'Ray. He's called for the foul on Gashi. Get a little testy there.
Gashi is really just winded right now.
I like the way he plays his game. He's showing a lot of athleticism.
That's a result of him being all over the court.
And these Warriors, this is a very impressive effort. There's a challenge when you have such a tough first half, down 22. Nice move by McKinney. Scoops underneath and it falls off the front of the rim. And in the game there is Terrence Jones as he feeds Esposito. (48-27).
Chandler, no hands.
Ray matched up with Gashi. Now he switches. Left open, and there's a big three for Switek. His 82nd on the year. Look how quick that transition is from the baseline. And smoothly, Terrence Jones with his first field goal.
Warriors could use a couple more of those trays before the third quarter closes, and there's another one.
Oh, Switek looks like he's in rhythm, but they're overplaying, and Robinson alertly just goes for the long release. And just like that, it is a 19-point game.
Eagles are so fast, the Warriors can't get set on defense when that transition game is clicking for Conwell Egan.
Robinson was 17. And you're seeing, Tom, the awareness of the position of the floor and the awareness to get the ball down the floor for that easy finish for him.
Exactly. No question about it.
Gashi with the ball fake. Switek open on the top. He's feeling it, but Gashi is too. What good control by Gashi. Egan now with 10.
Gashi is certainly in a rhythm and really making some nice moves off the baseline.
Penetration, the lefty, Chandler Ray doesn't get it to drop. We approach the 2-minute mark, 17-point game. McKinney pulls up, decides not to. Switek with a hot hand. Matched up against Robinson. Nice move underneath.
Go!
No contact, and Gashi wants to slow down that break. So he'll take his second foul.
Mike Glovis's daughter coaches the Wilson girls team, which made the Colonial League finals this season.
Sondren had a pretty good year with that program. Former player herself held her own.
School's all-time leading scorer.
Not a bad career. And then that's nice that the girls can relate on how to get it done.
Also a 1,000 score at the Sales.
17-point game. We're underneath a minute 40. Well, the ball there is Noah Andrus, the senior. Coach K called for motion offense. Some pretty crafty ball handling. Galib with his hand on the ball.
That one in favor of Wilson.
Go, take this.
Terrence Jones will come out, and in the game, Baldacchino. 17-point game. 1:16, as you can see in the clock. Bringing the ball up is Peter Rivera. Screen. Switek's been hot from the three, and here he gets his third in a row. Fourth on the night. He now has 16. and he makes it a 14-point game. They're overplaying for that release.
Exactly. And once again, Robinson showing his deftness to the basket.
Keep working hard.
He is so good when he gets up in the air, and he's so dominant left-handed, but he's got such a nice touch. Make it 19 for him on the night. 16-point game.
32 seconds left in the third quarter. Wilson would like to close it on a positive note, but with that turnover, that might not be the case.
On the assist from Esposito, Baldacchino gets his 10th point of the night. Make it 18 points. You're down to 10 seconds. 7.
Might as well throw
5.
up a 3. No, they go inside.
3.
It's Mr. Reliable, Gashi, but he is fouled.
Nice backdoor move by Galib. Sorry. And Charbel will get to the line. He made his 2 on his previous visit. And he's got 2 here to make this a 16-point game. First one falls short. When you look at the Warriors, pretty young team. Gashi and Clark are the seniors. As Galib makes his second, he now is 9. Turnover, 1 second, it's up and it's gonna go. Oh!
Wow.
Whoa, that keeps things exciting. Peter Rivera, as the clock winds down.
Wow, talk about a positive way to end the quarter. I mean, you're down by plenty, but still, hey, now it's a 14-point lead.
There was 1.7 seconds on the clock. They threw it up the court, and great awareness by Rivera, just picked it up and fired it away, and makes it a 3-point game. It's 56-42, looking forward to the fourth quarter. You can see some energy in the crowd as the Wilson Warriors at the buzzer beater by Peter Rivera, his first of the night, the 3, makes it a 14-point ball game. That was a great third quarter for Wilson, thrown in 25 points, and Conwell Egan just had 17 for the 56-42 score. And you can see the Warriors start the fourth quarter and they're 1-3-1, and patience being shown by Conwell Egan.
Yeah, Gashi as well spearheading that spurt in the third quarter. As well, the Warriors are, making it interesting. Not within single digits, but that can be amended.
The kick out to Esposito. It's going to his left side. He likes that move, and Eric able to finish. Eric now with 10 on the night. That's the fourth player in double figures for Conwell Egan. We're seeing a lot of resolve here by Coach Mike Glovis' team. Just keep playing basketball. That first half, that first quarter, 7. Second quarter, only 10. And then they throw 25 up in the third against this pretty solid Conwell Eagle team. Unable to get that to drop was Rivera. Esposito from the corner. He likes that corner. A little bit long. The battle on the boards controlled by Galib. And Switek, who had 3 consecutive threes in the third quarter, going for the fourth. He's feeling it. He is feeling it, Tom.
Switek again with the tray. And that gets the Warriors within 13.
But Robinson just gets a little bit of a seam, and he just penetrates with that control. 60-45. Switek with 5 threes now, 19 on the game. Robinson just keeps on scoring, answering every time.
Switek on the weak side, now making a move inside.
5 team fouls for Conwell Egan, 3 for the Warriors.
Won't go.
Rivera was feeling it. Esposito tries to go coast to coast, but he sees Crawford staying on the opposite side of the lane. Crawford able to finish. He's got 5. It's 62-45 at the 5:44 mark.
Smart basketball there by Esposito. He's got 2 defenders on him in the paint, and he dishes off unselfishly.
Devontae Williams in the game, number 4 for Conwell Egan. Switek again.
Oh man, is he hot.
Robbie Switek, his 6'3". He's got 22. But Robinson just keeps on answering, finds a gap. Such good quickness. The no-look pass. Crawford just hangs out on the block and gets the assist and draws the foul.
They always have an answer. The Eagles, you know, again, we've been talking about their transition game. If it's not a, a run and gun type deal, it's just working inside, and they have so many weapons in the forward position.
Peter Rivera called for his 2nd foul, team 4th. And every time they show some kind of energy for the Warriors, the Eagles from Conwell Egan answer. Crawford, freshman, makes his first free throw of the night.
And out goes Crawford.
And in comes in Doyle, or I'm sorry, Delroy Gale. Gale's going to match up with McKinney as they stay in their man.
He's got such an arm span. Gale does.
Williams is paying a lot of attention to Gashi as a timeout is called by Coach Mike Glovis. It's a full timeout. That's the 3rd timeout in the game for Wilson. Egan has used 2. 4:58 to go, 65-48, Tom. Everything that we're seeing, Wilson, if they just had a better first half of the game, they are playing some really good basketball right now.
Yeah, it's too bad they couldn't get untracked early, but you got to credit Conwell Egan's tenacious defense for presenting problems for the Warriors and trying to get the ball to the hoop and Nicole's shooting as well. It basically came down to that as well, especially in the 2nd quarter, trying to get those threes untracked. But that's certainly been tracked, if you will, in the 2nd half.
All the excitement you heard of the fans, the cheerleaders were doing their tumbling, and the cheerleader for Notre Dame, everybody's worried she's going to tumble right in the stage, but she did the last one right before she hit the mats. Crowd looking out for a great job by the cheerleaders from Wilson. So 4:58 to go here in the 4th quarter of the 4A first round playoff game held here at Father Judge High School in Northeast Philadelphia. Conwell Egan Eagles 65 points, and the Wilson Warriors with 48, having one tremendous 2nd half with only 17 in the first half. 25 points in the 3rd quarter. Gashi, nice rotation on the ball. Vegan now with 12.
Gashi with a nice touch there. The medium range shot.
There's a timeout called by Coach Caver. And it seems like the pressure by Wilson is creating a little disruption in the flow of the full court press break by Conwell Egan.
Caver, as we mentioned earlier in the first half, a high school McDonald's All-American. That is certainly very impressive. He went to Seton Hall, where he won 2 Big East championships.
He also won 2 Catholic high school championships in New Jersey, state championships. And he's trying to instill in his kids his first year here at Conwell Egan. And you can see very fundamental, sound team. You can imagine now what the Catholic League is like. You've seen this program, Conwell Egan. Their record in the Catholic League, 2-11. Now you're looking at teams like Roman,
yes.
you're your Father Judge, all those strong teams in the Catholic League, and that's great for the playoffs. 2015 state champions, Egan, but the pressure by Gallen and the interception of the pass draws a foul by Robinson.
Made it to the District 12 final. They lost to Imhotep Charter, 99-48. Incredible score there, one.
To get there, though, they knocked off Lansdale Catholic 65-57, who knocked them off during the regular season. So that was a good indication of growth for Coach Caver.
Wilson certainly has its work cut out for it. Down by 15 as we wind down to the 4-minute mark. Gashi dishes off inside.
Nice hesitation by Gallup. He does the pump, nobody reacts and gets the ball up and draws the foul. That's going to be the 7th team foul for Conwell Egan. If Wilson keeps on attacking, it's the 2nd foul by Eric Esposito. Gallup's going to shoot 2, the lefty. Gets that front end. He's now 4 for 5 in a line for the night with 11 points. As you had mentioned earlier, Tom, 55% from the line, but right now he's at 80. And that's even going higher now. He's at 83%. 13-point game.
And for our viewers in the Cole region, the opener, a girls game, a PIAA girls game with the Minersville Battling Miners winning 71-23 over Motivation High School.
It's going to be a reach foul by McKinney. And they're putting pressure. They're doubling up Robinson, and they're trying to cut off that gap. It's going to be the 16th foul for Wilson. 13-point game. And they keep chipping away. Putting pressure on Robinson. They feel they can answer. Esposito, he loves coming up with that left. Does that spin, but he's so down with the left and a little scoop.
Nice scoop shot there by the 6'6" senior.
Esposito loves coming up the left side of the court against that press. He's very comfortable going to his left. Hasn't demonstrated a lot to his right, but as of right now, he's been pretty solid, just dominant with his left hand. 3.5 to go. In the man, the back door, but well read by Delroy Gale. Egan's slowing it down a little bit. Robinson pulls it out. And as we're approaching the 3-minute mark,
Wilson needs to make a stop here.
And that's one guy that's tough to stop. Robinson making it 69. Good hustle there by Rivera. Robinson with 23. McKinney, the left hand. A little strong. Robinson. Oh, soft scoop.
Oh. That was kind of an awkward shot to make, but he did it.
Well, he's got 25 of the 71. And just like that, it's a 19-point game when Wilson had it down to 13. We got to give a lot of credit to the Warriors, showing a lot of heart. Rivera going to his left, and Peter Rivera now with 5. And Wilson calls their 4th time out of the game with the score at 71-54 at 2:13 to go.
As you're watching us on next day replay, Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, some other live games to look forward to here on TV Tube, tipping off at 3 o'clock. A 2A boys game between Paul Robeson and Moravian Academy. Then at 4:30, a 4A girls round 1 game between Berwick and Bethlehem Catholic, followed by the 6 o'clock matchup with Academy of Palumbo and Southern Lehigh.
Well, you look at 3 teams that you mentioned there. You look at Moravian Academy. John Dunmore went over there and got things going, and now Steve Gabrilik gets them their first title that they've ever had. And you mentioned Bethlehem Catholic, tradition, the girls are state champions last year, and Southern Lehigh having a tremendous year and a tremendous program in consecutive seasons. So it's real exciting times right now for Lehigh Valley basketball. And the outlook is very optimistic to see how far they can go and what can happen.
Southern Lehigh made it to the quarterfinals last year where they lost. They would certainly like to parlay all the success they've had to this point into a deeper run in the PIAA tournament.
Okay, we got 2:13 to go. 71-54 possession, Conwell Egan. Run the floor, staying in the full court pressure. The Warriors, this guy's been tough, Robinson. Going to his right, we haven't seen that a lot. He loves the left side like Esposito, number 34, the 6'6" ball handler. Pressure.
Eagles might want to just run some time off the clock now.
Yeah, you're right, Tom. I think that's exactly what they, unless they get an easy. As Crawford having one heck of a night. Donovan with 10 points now, the 5th player in double figures for Conwell Egan, that's a great distribution of points.
Definitely, and when you got the guy down there basically all alone in the low post, no, it's hard to resist.
And only a freshman. But there's a guy that's pretty seasoned in Gashi.
Gashi's bread and butter move there.
14 points tonight. Did not get to the free throw line. No rush. Baldacchino pulls it out. You can see the time on the clock. And that's going to be Robbie Switek called for his third. And that's going to bring him to the bonus. Esposito, 2 for 3 from the line at 67%. One fine performance.
Hey, stop it.
Coming back in the game for the Warriors. Clark. Esposito now, 2 for 4.
A lot of traffic there on the left side. Switek trying to find the seam. Gets it to Rivera.
Rivera, nice penetration, waits to their space. Makes it a 15-point game as we're under the minute mark. Going to be a foul. That's going to send Delroy Gale to the line. He's been 4 for 4 in the night. McKinney with his foul. We're going to make some substitutions, and coming into the game, number 25, Jaron Kazemchek. Also, Aiden Quinn, the senior. Jaron's a senior, 5'10 senior. Substitution now for Conwell Egan. Number 5 is Chandler Ray, who was in the game earlier. Entering for Wilson.
And Noah Andrus, number 41.
Ben Hindmark, a 6'2 junior, coming into the game. Number 31, Josh Javier, a 5'9 junior. And Zach Miller, a 6'2 junior, on the floor. And it's tough for the seniors. You say a guy like Pete Rivera, as his time, Cameron Clark, Aiden Quinn, Vegan Gashi. These guys put their time into the program, made a commitment. Jaron Kazemchek is a good season. They represented Wilson School District, Wilson Area School District tonight. A tough first half. The shooting was a little bit off, but they showed a lot of character in the way they played and made this a competitive game, as the shot of Ben Hindmark falls a little bit short. 30 seconds. You know, let the clock count down.
Eagles now content to just pass it.
Jaron Kazemchek's going to call for the foul and put Chandler Ray to the line. That's going to give an opportunity to get into the game. Coming in now is Matthew Glovis, a sophomore. You know, the seniors for Wilson getting to the state tournament, set a standard as that ball falls short for Ray. 15 seconds. Somebody's going to get a shot off with the penetration, kicks it out. The 3 attempt, a little bit long by Jaron Kazemchek, and we're down to 5, and that's going to count it down. Getting to the second round, Conwell Egan Catholic High School, 73-58 over a very proud and very prolific Wilson Warriors team, Tom. They got cut short a little bit in that first half, but what a heck of a second half, as they scored in the second half 41 points.
That's a lot of points, and you got to credit them. They never said, you know, we're out of this. And they never hung their heads. They made a nice push there, got within 14, and I believe 13 at one point. But the overall depth and talent of this Conwell Egan team was just too much to overcome over 32 minutes.
Well, thanks to our man Ron Boyer on the sound and Harry Shides on the camera. We did it, Tom. Tom Mikrans, This is Mike Krause. Thanks for being a part of an exciting PIAA tournament, boys and girls, all classes. Check us out on TV2sports.com for the schedule, and we will bring all the teams from the Valley that we can for you Enjoy your time, enjoy the playoffs, and let's keep on plugging for the Valley. Thank you, and have a great night.